Hey, good morning, everybody. Good news. The Scott Agency is gathered around a table to talk about group health insurance. Some of you may know me. My name's Brian Gleis. I'm the agent out of the Warrenton office. I also have with me today Matt Spate. He's the CEO of the Scott Insurance Agency. Now, with his youthful look and the title of CEO, what I want to bring to you is that doesn't happen by accident. So I am pleased to call Matt our CEO. He's a go-getter. It's a family-owned company. I think that's important to do. I think that's important to know. And another thing important to know is that we're not videographers. We're insurance agents. So this might not be perfect, but bear with us. This is Mark Blassie. Mark Blassie is the employee benefits manager on our team. He also works for Keystone, who we are a partner of. You know, I try very hard to be the smartest person in the room whenever I go to places, but when I can't be, I make sure to bring the smartest person in the room with me on the topic that it pertains to. So I'm happy to have Mark Blassie with us here today, and super thankful for you being on our team and not on somebody else's team. So thank you, Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning. So guys, what we're here to do is to talk a little bit about group health insurance. It's a topic that's on top of mind to a lot of our employers. There is a shift going on in the marketplace, or at least there is some interest in changing some of the benefits in group health insurance policies and taking them from a traditional platform to a non-traditional kind of piecemeal platform. And I'm going to ask Mark to share a little bit of information about that, and me and Matt will chime in as well. So Mark, tell us a little bit about what we're seeing in the marketplace as it pertains to those, I'm even going to call it the smaller size groups, your 5s, your 10s, your 20s, and things like that.
Brian, you use a good word, shift. There is a noticeable movement out in the market space around how to control healthcare costs, which continue to rise and put pressure on all business sizes. This movement started a few years back at high-level organizations who just were looking for new ideas. And the shift is to take a more non-traditional way of funding your health insurance and plan designs. And while it's a shift, we support the investigation, if it's right for you, by doing a very thorough analysis of your current program, and could some of these cost tactics really help you in improving your results. But what we find out is most employers are very careful. They don't want to disturb the experience that their members have with their health care, because Matt, as you know, health care and benefits is extremely important to your clients in terms of attraction and retention.
Very much so. We're actually going through that process right now within our agency benefit program, and going through the network and making sure that every doctor and every hospital that our employees need and want are encompassed in the new network.
And Mark, I think you bring up a good point, because we have the opportunity to work with employers that are just focused on the bottom line, and that's it. Then we also have the opportunity to work with employers that are focused on their employees' experience. How do we reduce disruption to our employees while still getting the employer the best price possible? And with individuals like Mark Blassie on our team, I call Mark Blassie the architect, all right? Because Mark brings all the pieces of the puzzle and puts them on the table, and then we can figure out how they link together to meet the needs of our employer. And I think meeting the needs of our employer is huge, whether it's that employer that just has the bottom line focus, or whether it's the employer that has a dual focus of, I need the best deal that I can get, but I also don't want to disrupt my employees. Mark, can we talk a little bit about pharmacy benefits and some of the shifts that we're seeing in those? And what I'm going to ask you to do is to compare a traditional plan to more of what we call a self-funded plan, guys. And you might not have heard of that term, but a self-funded plan is where you, the employer, actually becomes the insurance agency. Let's talk a little bit about those two positions.
Brian, that is at the heart of the shift, and we'll continue to use that word. As we know, the traditional plan design is with the insurance carrier. So the plan design, the actual insurance of those claims is with the insurance carrier, and I'll use United Healthcare as an example. You also get your claims administered through a United Healthcare subsidiary, and you're also getting your pharmacy benefits through a subsidiary of United Healthcare called Optum. So the solution is contained within that one carrier environment. This shift that we talked about this morning is, can we unbundle that
Right.
program and seek out individual components, whether it's a TPA, stop loss insurance, or pharmacy benefit management, that when we bring them all back together, does that result in a net savings? And a word I'd like to use, and you use it, and I'd like to reinforce it, Brian, is disruption.
Right.
Because can we reconstruct that program? And while savings is critical, I think the member experience, Brian, is also very, very important. We don't want to disturb and disrupt the member experience for the sake of some savings. So we always include a financial analysis to make sure that any return on changes are going to not only be measured in terms of numerical savings, but also member experience.
And guys, if you're watching this video, we also have a document that Keystone has published. It's a news brief. Our information will be at the end of this video. You can send me a request and I'll be happy to send this to you. But the title of this is the FTC launches investigation into pharmacy benefit managers. So you can't turn on the news or you can't talk to an employee without hearing how pharmaceutical benefits or the cost of medicines are affecting those individuals. So it's a hot button topic for our employers. Now, what I want to caution our employers is there will be entities that come into your organization and they will say, I can save you money, I can save you money, I can save you money, I can save you money. The devil's in the details, guys. When they talk about changing the pharmaceutical plan, and we're telling you right now that you cannot carve out just the pharmacy benefit on a traditional plan. So when they're talking to you about your pharmaceutical needs, what they're really doing is going to shift everything, your program and everything, into a type of self-funded plan. A self-funded plan can be complicated and it has to be understood, especially by the employer. So where I'm going with this is know the people that are telling you this information. Trust those people, vet those people. Because yes, as salespeople, one of the things that we are trained to do is to drive a wedge between the client and their current carrier, and saving money can do that. But again, I can't emphasize enough, the devil's in the details. Now, the next thing that I'd like to talk about is if I take one of my employers out there from a traditionally planned fund and I say, I've got this deal from you and I'm going to move you into this group, into this consortium, into this pool, into this membership type organization so that we can gather from the strength of numbers. Mark, is that always a good thing? Is it always a good thing to go from something that you control to a part of a larger group that you have no control over?
You continue to use good words that spark interesting conversation. Control is a good word to use in any change decision. Do you gain control or do you lose control when you move from one plan design to another? Aggregation models, pooled models, do offer some opportunities to save because there are some components of the model that are sharing risk amongst the members. And that can be deceiving as to how does that shared savings impact me as a member of the pool. We always encourage our clients to examine not only how do I get into these pools, but how do I get out of these pools? Because oftentimes you go into it assuming you're going to pick up savings, yet you're a healthy risk. You start getting your share of some of the shared risk when it might be better for you to be on your own. But again, we'll reiterate, any plan change needs to be supported with detailed analysis. We call it due diligence sometimes, and that's what we like to encourage any of our clients to go through so that we can myth bust some of these savings opportunities that are rampant. And you would expect that in any rising cost environment, there's going to be some evangelization going on out there that I can save you money. And some of these tactics work, and some of them could be appropriate for you. It depends on your situation, and our jobs is to help you analyze whether it's appropriate or not.
Since I've been working for Matt, which he's stomached me for 9 years now, I think, when I came on board of the Scott Agency, one of the things that impressed me is that they didn't sit down and they didn't say, you have to sell 30 health policies a month, X number of group policies, X number of homes in order to keep your job. What the Scott Agency's focus was meet your clients' needs, make sure they're a client for the next 20 years, and then move on. So with what Blassie's talking about, there are agents and advisors out there that just churn out policies and you never see them again. One of the things that we find is that certain groups are not using benefits that are already in their policy that just hasn't been explained, or maybe you as an employer don't have a dedicated benefits employee in there. Those are one of the things that we help with. So again, I want you to choose quality, all right, over hype or over evangelism. So another example on what Mark was saying, we have a group that we have worked with extensively. Guys, we have dialed in their costs, we have lowered their claims, we've modified their plans, and they are running great. And they came to us and said, we have an opportunity to join a consortium, to join a membership group, all right? And we had the conversation with them. We want you to do whatever is in your best interests, but let's talk about it. We've spent all this time lowering your cost of insurance through best practices. Let's talk about if you moved into a group with 700 other people, do they have the same focus as you do, as we have brought to the table? So all of these things are on the table. We do large groups. We do a ton of small groups. And we notice that rural communities, because Matt, you're in the Avaz, Montgomery, you go into Columbia and things like that. And some of these groups in your own backyard, local business owners, are being contacted by some of these organizations, as Mark said, that are evangelizing, we can save you money, okay? So we are here as much more than insurance agents. We want to be your advisor, not only your advisor, but your trusted advisor. And the three of us at this table work really hard to earn that title of trusted advisor. So guys, we might do a couple more videos on this, but in closing, we'll each do a closing comment. But in closing, trust your advisor. If your advisor is there just to collect your premium, that's a little bit different. If you're interested in the news brief that we talked about, my email information and contact information will be on the back. But yes, in larger things, the pharmaceutical benefits companies are being investigated. And we could do many videos just on the pharmaceutical. I might invite one of my pharmacists in to do a video. But Mark, in closing, what would you like to say?
I think one way of summarizing everything that we talked about today, we do it in the context of our pillars of excellence. It's a placemat that we collect information about our clients' programs to help them understand how pillars of excellence can help you sustain your benefit program, not only from an affordability perspective, but a program that has been designed to meet the needs of your employees from an attraction and retention. We recognize how important labor is in today's environment.
Right. Matt?
I want to comment on something Mark said. He mentioned Mythbusters. So not only do we bring important information to our clients or potential clients on ideas to help you with your benefits program, we encourage you to bring those ideas back to us.
Oh.
And we will help you and guide you in whether that idea is a good idea or maybe not such a good idea. But we're here to support you and help you through that.
So Matt, something that I've actually done to do on that is that's happened. And individuals come to me and says, what about this? If I'm not knowledgeable about this, I did a 3-way phone call with the client and we talked about it. Because if I don't have it and it's an asset, I will either get it or I will approve them to go get it. Guys, we're sitting here in the lovely Oliver's Restaurant here in Warrenton, Missouri. I hear they have a great insurance agent, wink, wink. But Oliver's is a dine-in facility, American-style cuisine. They have a great salad bar. Their fried catfish is like nobody else. Their fried chicken's like nobody else. Their fried portobellos. I'm a fried person if you can't tell. But if you have the opportunity and you're in the Warrenton, Missouri area, look Oliver's Restaurant up. It's a great place to eat, and they're good people. From the Scott Agency, thank you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Brian.
And stay tuned because we'll probably do some more stuff. These videos are meant to enlighten, and also if you have questions, you can reach out to any of us. You know, I'm in the Warrenton area. I go further east into St. Charles and St. Louis. Matt's in the Mexico area. Again, Audrain County. We also have an office in Mexico, Missouri. And poor Blassie, he's responsible for the entire doggone state. So we abuse him thoroughly. Bye, guys.